If you're a fan of F1 and have been for the last few years, you should have heard of Liberty Media, but you might not actually know that much about them because, as far as I've seen in the kind of general media space, I haven't seen any deep dives as such into exactly who the company are, this elusive company who purchased F1, not just a stake, not just a little bit, purchased entirely F1 in 2017. I thought today I'd take the opportunity to have a little deep dive, a deepish dive, a little seasoning of information for you lot on who they are, where they've been, what they've done for F1 so far, and if I think they're good for the sport, essentially. So, Liberty Media is an American media conglomerate entity, big guns in America. And like I said, they took the reins of F1, they purchased it entirely in 2017 from the little man, Bernie Ecclestone, who of course did so much to increase the world scope and view. F1 wouldn't be what it is today without Bernie. But for the last few years, he's out. They were founded in the early 90s and operate out of Englewood in Colorado, which is just a bit south of Denver. Now, in terms of the big names in charge, you've got Gregory Maffei, who is the big CEO of the entire Liberty Media organisation. You've got John Malone, who's chairman, and then of the specific F1 part of the business, because F1 isn't their only thing, of course, you've got the man, the name, the moustache. You've got Chase Carey. Chase is an interesting character, not just because of the moustache. I might do a deep dive into him one day. Let me know down below if you'd like to see that. Now, just to put into perspective how big Liberty is, okay, they are a Fortune 500 company. They're one of the 500 biggest companies in the world, okay? They're a big deal. They're ranked number 380, which is pretty decent. Not bad. It's a good little bit of pocket money I think those guys have got. Their total revenue in 2019 was $8 billion, and their total assets are over $40 billion. So again, they've got a bit behind them. They've got a bit of cash. They've got a bit of moolah. Now, alongside F1, they've got some interesting ownerships as well. Arguably, their biggest and most kind of famous is the Atlanta Braves. They purchased them in 2007. They're an American baseball team. I used to have an Atlanta Braves cap, even though I couldn't be less interested in baseball when I thought snapbacks looked cool, which was a long time ago. Fortunately, there's no pictures of me like it because it's not a pretty sight. Here's an interesting one for any Arsenal fans out there. They also partly own a stake in Kroenke Sports and Entertainment. Yes, if you're into football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, Premier League, Stan Kroenke, Arsenal fans, the man you love to hate because he's destroying your club, just like I don't want to talk about West Ham. Anyway, Liberty Media own a stake in his business, which owns various things, including Arsenal Football Club. Another interesting one, actually, they own a stake in the Drone Racing League. I'd never even heard of this, and when I researched this, I had a little look into it. The racing looks intense, man. Like, it's crazy. You should give it a watch. It's interesting. It's obviously got a big audience because they've got massive sponsors behind it. But yeah, the Drone Racing League is apparently a thing. And then outside of sporting stuff, probably their biggest thing is their ownership of SiriusXM and iHeartRadio, massive American radio broadcasting stations. So yes, like I said, they purchased Formula One in its entirety. 100% of Formula One is owned by Liberty Media, and they paid $4.6 billion US for that, which is just a big number, isn't it? To put that into perspective, based on a team spending $125 million a year on average, a mid-table team, your Force Indias, your Alpha Tauris, all them, they spend about 125 million USD a year to run and operate a team, right? That's 37 times that amount. 37 times what it takes for one team to operate for a whole season. Does that put it into perspective? Not really. I just thought it'd be quite interesting to have a bit of a relative, you know what I mean? It hasn't really helped. I mean, it's still just stupid amounts of money that most of us could never even dream of having, but, you know, that's Formula One for you, isn't it? Now, it's well documented that Liberty, when they took the reins of F1, they went for an entertainment angle rather than a sporting angle in terms of the way they've managed it. And I mean, for me, because this raised a few eyebrows with some people, but for me, it's a no-brainer, surely. I mean, look, the global success of a sport is determined by the entertainment factor, okay? If people aren't entertained, people aren't going to watch. If people aren't going to watch, there's not going to be any money to go into the sport, and the sport will not thrive. The entertainment of a sport is directly relevant, okay, to how well it performs. So, of course, it makes sense for them to take the entertainment angle. So there's a few things they did at the very start in order to, push this entertainment side. First of all, they took the drivers' reins off in terms of social media, let them do what they like, let them be the people they want to be, which I think is massive, man, because, look, we as viewers, okay, we only see what we're shown on the TV when we go to the tracks, okay? We see a little insight. And the more that we can connect with drivers, there's a reason Alex Albon's my favourite driver. There's a reason Lando Norris is one of my favourite drivers. It's because these drivers, the drivers that I love the most, are the ones that really express themselves. Really, you can see their character and personality, and they're able to convey that not just at the race weekends, but outside on social media like we all use it. They also revamped the YouTube channel, which I think the F1 YouTube channel is arguably the best YouTube channel of any major sport, because I just think the content that they're producing, the highlights and the mid-race stuff where they're just talking about top 10s and all kind of stuff. And obviously, Big Willie Buxton smashes it every week, pre-race, post-race, all that stuff. I think quality. It gives such a great, again, even if you can't watch the race, it gives a great insight behind the scenes, just genuine content that doesn't feel like it's being managed by this massive production team. Because it's just Will and his mate, like Ted's Notebook, but I'm not keen on Ted Kravitz, but whatever. And it just comes across very honestly and genuine, and I think Liberty saw that as an opportunity and have really kind of massively exploited that in a great way. And then you've also got stuff like the F1 soundtrack changing, which I think we all love that now. The memes are great. And ultimately, Drive to Survive, we've only got 11 days as I record this until season 2 comes out. I can't wait. It's going to be sick. The trailer dropped today. Oh, it's going to be good. I can't wait. I've already heard Günther Steiner. Günther Steiner's in there giving Roman and Kevin barrel load. It's going to be so good, man. But yeah, all of this stuff I think comes together just to make F1 a much more approachable sport. I genuinely think it's part of the reason why I got really back into it, because I did fall out of love with F1 for a bit between maybe like 2012 to like 2015, 16. I kind of lost a bit of interest, but now I feel very like invigorated and into it, because I feel a connection with these drivers, and I feel like, I don't know, it's just the entertainment spectacle I want to watch, I want to consume. Even if I wasn't doing this channel, I would be just as into F1 as I am right now. And I think Liberty Media deserve a lot of credit for that. So ultimately, do I think Liberty Media will make or break F1? I think they will thoroughly make it. I think F1 is around for a long time to come. I think it's in very, very safe hands. Their decision making has been brave. It's been important, because F1 has stagnated as a sport, I feel, with the later years of Eccleston. I really feel it did stagnate and become just a bit samey and boring and dull. And they're making brave decisions. They're appealing to a younger market. They're not afraid to, throw things out there. You've got the rule regulation changes in 2021, which again I think will add to that, because Liberty have adopted an F1 that's up to this stage. Just essentially it's Eccleston's, just a little bit reimagined. 2021 is their chance to really completely wipe the slate clean, start afresh, and everything they've done so far has pointed towards them knowing exactly what they want to do, having a very clear goal and executing on it amazingly well. So not for this to be too much of a Liberty Media love fest, but why not? They're doing a great job. Clearly they're doing a great job. All the insight, all of the behind the scenes, it's what we want to see as fans. It's opening the doors. It's making us more invested, so that when the lights turn out and the drivers go and we're sitting there watching, we're more excited, more engaged, more turned on than ever. That's my take on Liberty in Formula One. Let me know in the comments down below which introductions from Liberty are your favourites? Of everything they've changed in the last few years since 2017, what's your favourite? Because 3 years is not a long time in the grand scheme of things. They've already done so much as far as I'm concerned. What have they changed for the better? What do you think maybe they should change and will change going forward? I'd like to hear in the comments below. It's good to be back, man. I've got food poisoning on Wednesday and I felt awful, so I'm recording this on Monday. I'm trying to make this day productive because then I've got a stag do tomorrow, which I'm away till Friday, which will be dangerous. So wish me luck, and I'm gonna miss the rest of testing and all that start of that. So I'm gonna bring videos next weekend as long as I'm not a zombie from all the alcohol consumption, but we'll see. So yeah, thank you very much as ever for watching. Please drop a like on this video if you enjoy it, and subscribe if you're new and you want to see more. My name's been Tommo. This is the Tommo F1 YouTube channel. Thanks again. Have a good one. Ta-da.